Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. First one back in a very long time, months, I think. And first returning guest, I believe. Today I've got Adam Powe with me again. How are you, Adam?
Thank you for having me. Yeah, doing well. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Obviously we were chatting before we press record. One of the main things I want to talk about, and I can't wait to start talking about, is dad life as a bodybuilder. Dad life in general is tough, but dad life and trying to bodybuild at the same time is
Yeah.
flipping ridiculous. I'm finding it so tough. I'm finding it so tough. Um, so yeah, let's get right into it. Let's get right into it. So my little one is now 4.5 months roughly. Your little one is 2 years old the other day.
2 years now. Yeah.
Yeah.
2 years.
So obviously I've told you a little bit. Well, these guys haven't heard it. So very quickly, very briefly, my little one was ill just the other day. She got the illness from me. It's now been probably a week since she's been ill. I was ill for about 2 weeks. It was just lingering because I wasn't taking time off work, or I was trying not to take time off gym. I was still trying to get steps in and stuff. And really, I should have just been relaxing, and it ends up dragging on. Um, she ended up getting it. Then my wife ended up getting something completely different and throwing up and all sorts. Hers was bad. So the whole house was sick at various times, trying to co-parent, trying to make things work and trying to fit each other's schedules when everyone's just sick. And it's just, yeah, it was just not great. Amongst all of that, anyway, I'm trying to train. I'm trying to, trying to fit it in um, even when everyone's healthy, even when everyone's got a relatively nailed down schedule, I'm still finding it tough. Obviously, new parents. So my
Mm.
wife's adjusting, I'm adjusting, little one's adjusting to life in general. It's just tough. How did you find being a new parent and bodybuilding? Because I know based on the timeline of the age of your child, I know that you would have been seriously into bodybuilding at that time.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it was definitely something that I, the way saw it was basically just a case of just accepting that things aren't going to be perfect. Um, just accepting like sleep's not going to be as good.
Mhm.
I'm going to be training tired. Routine will be different, but just having to make do. And fortunately, I had that opportunity to adjust and adapt before prep.
Yeah.
So I think prep would have started when it's like, I guess, let's say prep got challenging because obviously the first 8 weeks of prep, it's still kind of like just been in a bulk.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, he would have been like 6 months. So at that stage, it got a little bit easier.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the start, I remember just being very tired in the gym all the time, and yeah, it was tough. I'm very fortunate. Was so supportive. Like she was amazing with helping me still kind of be able to train when I can and do my job with online coaching as well.
Yeah.
But there were days where I was training with like 4 hours sleep, and yeah, it was tough.
Yeah.
And I definitely think the volume I would have got away with then, or my recovery then, was worse than now.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to kind of shift things a little bit so you are still, obviously it's very easy when you coach loads of clients and stuff to think, oh, you need to do this amount of volume because I can recover from this. But people with less sleep, you have to really think about things differently, and that's what I was doing with myself. I remember like actually before prep started, so I was doing in my bulk, I was doing push pull legs off push pull, but that and legs, so like a density day.
Hmm.
And then just before prep, we decided to do push pull off legs off instead of push pull legs, and just added that rest day in, and that helped me so much, like
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
Um, and I think yeah, it just really allowed me to get a bit more recovery going into legs.
Yeah.
Uh, that it's just those little details that help so much. And yeah, I think just understanding that, like I said, it's not going to be easy. But they come first ultimately. And,
Hmm.
you know, I think at the same time, bodybuilding is quite a selfish sport. So that's where the conflict is,
Yeah.
because you want to put them first. But then also equally when you're like a pro natural bodybuilder, it's kind of, the demand is really high.
Yeah.
Um, But yeah, like I said, Ruby was very supportive of that. She understood it. And yeah, I mean, I know Ben Howard, he trains like 3 times a week because he's a dad.
Yeah.
So, it's just a case of adapting things, really. Yeah.
Yeah, I was getting consistently 5 days in. I was doing Monday, Tuesday. I don't do push pull legs. I do bro split, but I was doing
Yeah.
Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And that quickly changed to Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Now,
Yeah.
often than not, it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. I've shifted my
Yeah.
week forward because Deanna wants to train on Mondays,
Hmm.
and then she wants to try and train another day in the week whenever she can. And Fridays are fine because then I can go late at night or whatever. I can make it
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
I'm not working the next day. Um,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't have the benefit of solely being self-employed, so my scheduling, like afternoon or morning training, would probably be good for at least my push focus days. So at least my days where it's delts or chest or arms or
Mm.
whatever. Those days I can do any time of the day with I can do them fasted and get a great session out of it. When you've got
Yeah.
lift or
Yeah.
squat, it's a little bit different. The day has to be tailor made for it.
Yeah. 100%.
So, like you said, rightfully, two things you said that I've considered and had to continue to consider is first of all, they come first. And
Yeah.
second of all, as a professional natural bodybuilder, we are training at a very intense level,
Yeah.
like high level. So yes, you can make it work and fit things in, but for so much of what we're doing, it has to be with intention. Like you have to train with intent. Like
Yeah.
it's
100%. Yeah.
and it's tough. It's tough. That balance doesn't exist. And I think when you're trying to achieve in any sport, no matter what it is, excuse me, in any sport, no matter what it is, I think it's really difficult to strike a balance. But
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought it was difficult before, and
Yeah.
now she's here. I'm like, oh, this is yeah. It was nothing before. Before I could be as selfish as I wanted. It was easy.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Yeah. It's difficult. I think yeah, from my experience now, when I look back through the last 2 years of Milo, what I've realized is that the issue when he was younger was the sleep side of things. So you get
Yes.
way less sleep, and then when you get less sleep, you just like I was walking around tired a lot. Like I noticeably just felt very, very tired. Whereas now I don't feel that tired anymore. Like I feel my sleep's, when I get 7 hours of sleep consistently, I feel, completely fine. If I get 6 consistently, I will literally just feel really tired in the day.
Yeah.
And it's hard to get into the gym and just feel really tired. But then equally now, what's more difficult now is the demands are higher in the day. So
Yeah.
yeah, he sleeps through, but like the time you have in the day is harder because like, obviously he's running about. You've got to kind of permanently look after him. Whereas
Yeah.
back then he would sleep through the day and not really say much and just
Yeah.
chill. So
Yeah.
I think everything like every stage is different, but the demands are still there.
Yeah.
And yeah, I remember speaking to AJ before, almost confirming prep. So I was speaking with Ruby. I was like, do you think you'll be happy for me to prep and stuff? We're figuring it out. And AJ was like, I think it'll probably be easier if you prep now than next year because and it's so true. Like I if I was prepping this year, it'd be way harder,
Yeah. Yeah.
way like it would just yeah, just when you have that when you're like preppy, you got really low energy, and
Mhm.
then having to like look after Milo running around and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, my client Richard, he obviously saw the shape he got into.
Yeah.
His his son is 2.5 or maybe 3,
Mhm.
and it's hard because they talk a lot, they talk,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and you sometimes when you're on prep, you just want to
Of
not really have
course.
to do much. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. And I think I felt like that before I had a child. Sometimes just having a conversation with Deanna about how was work.
Yeah,
I
you're like, I can't
I
right
just
now.
it's fine. And we just move on.
Yeah.
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 Like I will admit my second year, 2021, I wasn't like that much until the very, very end. I'd say maybe the last 5 weeks. But my first year, 2019, from week I prepped for 26 weeks. From week 10, I would say, it started to get real tough, and I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to do anything. So when I think about exactly what you said, it doesn't. Yes, it gets easier in aspects, but it basically the responsibilities just change. Because
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
like you said, yes, they sleep better at night, but all day they demand much more energy from you.
yeah,
So I'll be honest with you, I operate very well at 6 hours consistently a night. That's
yeah,
kind of what I've always operated on as a baseline minimum. And
yeah, yeah,
that's usually okay with me. I'll deadlift, squat, whatever, go for PBs, do all that stuff off that. Anything under that, I'm kind of playing catch up,
mm,
and I might have to get a nap in the day or something to try and catch up some way, shape, or form. At the moment, I might get 7 hours, but it's so broken. Like
yeah,
if she's up twice, maybe once just to be settled again, and then once to actually feed. Although I'm not even always doing it, I'm rarely doing it. Deanna's doing it most of the time. I'm obviously in the same room, so she's waking me
mm,
up anyway because she wakes up crying or whatever the case may be. I find it very difficult. Like last night, I've been up since half 3 a.m. It's now half 6 p.m.
it's-
and I I woke up, I settled her at by 4 a.m., put her back down. She stayed asleep till 6. I was supposed to be up at half 6, so I didn't sleep really anyway because I couldn't sleep after I'd already woken up that much
yeah, yeah,
down. I find it really difficult to settle again.
yeah. I'm the same. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
when it starts getting light outside, that just like the
Yeah.
blue light, like it just
Yeah.
wakes me up.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it. I'm just like, I literally said to myself, I was so frustrated. I literally said to myself, I was like, fuck it, there's no point. And I just left it and I said, I'm not going to bed.
Yeah,
And I ended up just chilling out. But yeah, it's tough, man. I don't want to make this the whole podcast a dad podcast, but Jesus, it's tough.
I would,
And I
I would
just
say one. Yeah, I mean, I would say one thing like if when we have the next child, Aura rings.
mm-mm.
I'm definitely taking it off because
Yeah.
it's not like yeah. I remember because I that was when I first got it, just a bit before that I think, and it would just tell you what you don't want to hear. Like you're not getting good enough sleep, and it's just confirming it in your head. So
Yeah.
I get a bit too like, oh, I need to improve my sleep. And the reality is it's not like you're sleeping when you can. So yeah, next time this is going off because it's almost like placebo. You wake up in the morning and you look at it and it's like something kept you up last night. And I'm like, yeah, no shit.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. Ah, how do I phrase this without sounding like I don't give a fuck? I'm not majorly analytical. Now,
Yeah,
that doesn't mean I don't pay attention to my variables, but I don't sleep with a Fitbit on. I don't track
yeah,
my sleep like that.
yeah.
The quality of my sleep is what it is. Sometimes
Mm,
I sleep 8 hours and I wake up tired. Sometimes I sleep 6 hours and I wake up feeling ready to go. And I just
100%.
think
Yeah,
without being able to control it anyway, again, there are things you can take. There are supplements you can take to help you sleep, naturally occurring supplements that just help with sleep and stuff. Or there's just routines you can do. Don't look
yeah,
at your phone an hour before bed. Don't, you know what I mean? Just there's things you can do, but generally speaking, things that I cannot control, I tend to monitor closely, make changes that I can, realistic lifestyle changes, and I leave it be. So it's not
yeah,
something
yeah.
I've never
No,
really, yeah, bothered with. I've never really bothered.
yeah, I agree. I think I use this more for like other things, maybe like resting heart rate,
Yes.
and
Yeah, yeah.
stuff
Perfect.
like that. But
Does it
yeah,
count
I think
stairs? The ring.
yeah, it does stuff like that. But I mean, I use it mainly for that. But I think the insights it gave me with sleep have been useful, and I've learned a lot from it. But once you learn them, it's kind of like okay, implement them and just don't stick to it.
Yes.
You don't need to keep looking at it. And yeah, I think it's more useful for the other things, I guess. Than
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, no, I agree. And again, it's one of those things, like you said, once you know it, you know it. Let's
yeah,
move
exactly
forward.
that.
And if things are working, I don't need to look at it every day. If things are
Yeah,
going as they should, and that's kind of what I am like. I'm analytical when a problem arises, and I'm like, right, I need to zero in on that and see what the issue is and rectify it.
yeah,
If whether that can be diet or whatever. Again, and that's another thing that leads me onto that. So just my general supplementation, not sleeping as well has meant that I'm not fighting off. it doesn't seem as if I'm fighting off illness as well. Since Anaya has been born, I've had 2 or 3 little colds, and then this one has been like the major one that is kind of going around and everyone's getting it. Everyone I talk to is
Yeah.
telling me that they've got it. Yeah. So I've not really looked into this one too much, but I just realized, Gene, you need to be on top of your supplementation, and that doesn't just mean popping a few pills that you would usually pop, some multivitamins and stuff. I've started using CMOS again, which I used to do a lot because again, it's high in a lot of things, high in a lot of things that help your immune system and all the rest of it. I'm not selling CMOS. I'm not going to be sitting here doing a pitch, but it works. And the main and immediate effect I get from it was something that I have always valued since I played football, since I've been an athlete, a performance athlete in any sense. My gastrointestinal health is very good when I take CMOS. I I digest food well. I seem to metabolize food well. I feel better. It just, I noticed the changes with CMOS like immediately.
I'm gonna have to give that a look. I haven't used that before.
I think
So
consider it. There's loads of places you can get it from. And there's loads of types you can get. There's loads of like flavors and stuff you can get. I'll be honest, it doesn't taste like much anyway. When I typically pick mine, so mine's infused with honey, turmeric, and ginger. I
okay.
less about, again, you don't really taste it. It's more about I want those things in my diet on a regular basis, so I pick one with that.
Yeah,
You can
yeah,
just get pure CMOS jelly, but again, if you're interested or you want to know what's going on, then yeah, just drop me a message. I can send you the ones I use, and they have loads of flavors, and they're a legitimate company and stuff. Some people do it from their home and stuff because it's just a plant, really. It's just like a
yeah,
fungal,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's a fungus kind of thing. Similar concept to apple cider vinegar, where or kombucha,
Yeah, yeah.
where you have like the mother that
Mhm.
creates the bacteria, the good bacteria, and blah blah blah. It's
Yeah,
similar kind of
yeah.
vibe,
Okay. Yeah,
similar kind of
yeah.
vibe to that. But it creates a jelly, and you can put it in anything that's hot, and it will melt. You put it in whatever you like. So I usually just have it in tea
Yeah,
every morning.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it's good. It's good. Definitely works for me. Um, Bodybuilding now, less dad stuff, more bodybuilding. Obviously, with you being on here the first episode, I asked a lot about you as a bodybuilder. I'm sure we didn't cover everything, and I'm sure there will be many other occasions where either you'll talk about on your podcast, on your platforms, or people
Yeah,
already
yeah.
know maybe, or we'll talk about another time if you're back on again, which
Mhm.
again, you can come back on anytime.
Yeah.
Um, what are your plans for competition? So, just to set that question up a little bit better, because that was lazy. You've been doing a diet phase recently. You've just completed your
Yeah,
diet
yeah,
phase.
yeah. So yeah, just done it.
Yeah,
uh,
you
Just
you you look
2 weeks.
phenomenal. I just want
Yeah.
to say you look phenomenal now, and
Yeah,
yeah, so you've set yourself up to push back up again. So yeah, go ahead.
yeah, yeah. That's it. Yeah. So 14 kilos down, and just basically like I would say we didn't really diet because training performance wasn't going well, all that stuff. We dieted simply because it's just you need to make sure you can bring conditioning to the stage. And if you keep getting really, really soft, you just got to pull off more in the long run. So it's
Mhm.
like, okay, I pulled 14 kilos to get into a better position to then go back up and then go back down and then, go up to start prep again. So that was the main reason we dieted. But yeah, the goal now is I'm 84 kilos. We're going to go up to, so I went up to 97 kilos last push. I will go up to 93 kilos around that, and then diet down, and then basically do the same thing again. So pull off
Okay.
14 kilos. That time will be like 79, maybe 78, something like that. Go up to 84, start prep. So starting prep in a really good spot, basically. That's the goal. Because what's really apparent with my last prep and just being a pro now is the key things of being a good pro is just getting crazy peeled, loads of muscle maturity, and protecting the tissue. I feel like I've got the general size. It's
Mhm.
just I need that hard, grainy, detailed look
Yeah,
that
yeah,
a lot of good pros can bring.
yeah.
And that comes through freshness. It comes through just holding muscle for time and not losing it. So yeah, we're not getting ahead of ourselves. We're not doing another push like the last where I go, really heavy and try and pack on loads of muscle again, because there's more benefit to me. Maybe I don't put on as much muscle, but I protect more.
Yep.
So that's the plan. So competing in 2025, pre-prep diet will be in September. So literally the same sort of timeline as the last diet, which works really well. And then prep will begin April, maybe end of March. So
That's similar time that I tend to start. I know the timings of your shows will be different if you're in PNBA.
yeah. So not 100% sure like the exact shows I'm doing yet, but what I think I will be doing is the first show will be the UKFBA Pro show.
Mhm.
Then I'll go on to the Natural Universe,
Mhm.
depending on where it is, to be fair. Like I'll see where it's being held and so on. And then I'll do the Natural Olympia. That'll be like the free shows that I do.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, it's nice not having to do a qualifier for sure. So I can kind of bring condition, like I can just bring that look I want to bring
Yeah.
and be there. I think from the finals to the Olympia, I believe it'll probably be 4 weeks.
Hmm.
So just prove across that timeline, which isn't too bad. Whereas, when you do a qualifier, it's like you're ready quite early. And then
Yeah.
so yeah, well yeah, excited for it, to be fair, because I look back now and I see the UKFBA finals look like that fullness, but with a little bit more off would have been like spot on. But instead, I had to kind of then get a bit more condition in and rush it a little bit, and then lost a little bit of that fullness and
Yeah.
freshness.
Yeah.
So just timing it really easily this time around would be good.
I
Yeah,
listen, I love the approach. I will admit in the past, because I run my own off season, I mention this every time I bring up off seasons, just because I don't want opio associated to my fat body. Um, I do my own off seasons, and one thing I've learned about my body, which is why I do it, is so I can learn about my own body,
yeah,
is that threshold of where excess useless fat is being gained and
yeah,
it's not useful anymore and you need to now drag back down. So
yeah, yeah.
for me in the past, because I'm putting on tissue, so things are changing. The last time I dragged myself down to, I say dragged because I shouldn't really say that because it's not that difficult for me to lose weight. I'm a prima donna. But I got down to 88 kilo. And I think there's an update of me at 88 kilo on my Instagram somewhere. That is the sort of look I want going into prep.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
again, I'm 5'5", so 88 kilo being in decent condition, I was buzzing with that because I've
yeah.
never been
That's crazy.
near there. So I'm
What
like
was what was your stage weight last time?
low 70. Right. So on the day, on their scale, I weighed in at 72.6, but I don't believe that. I think I was probably 74,
Okay,
which would have been half a kilo up from 2019. I had a year off season, then came
mm,
back. That would have been half
yeah,
a kilo up with better condition and more muscle. So I
yeah.
was
You're,
clearly
you're
a different bodybuilder. But
similar body weight to me. I think I was 72 at the Natural Olympia, I think. At the
okay,
end. Yeah. It's
yeah.
funny.
For me, the next time I go on stage, like so many of the DFAT pros are minimum 80 kilo. Minimum. They don't really like. I'd struggle to pick a seasoned pro or someone who's competed at least once before as a DFAT pro who's under 80 kilo. I'm not going to be anywhere near 80 kilo on stage. It doesn't
I
bother me,
think
but
yeah, well that's you gotta like I think when I competed at the UKFBA finals, I beat a guy called Peter Stark from Germany. He was like 80 kilos. I was like 72. And when I stood next to him, I did look bigger in quite a lot of poses, but he's a big guy, but it's just
is he
and he was
bleach
built.
blonde?
But I think he's got like maybe like dark hair. He's
Okay, I'm thinking about someone else. I'm thinking about someone else.
yeah, he came second. He was very good. Shredded. It just shows his body weight's like, it just doesn't mean much. Like Phil Heath, he was like 245 pounds on stage.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's just like some people. I remember I posted a Instagram reel. I said my body weight,
Mm.
and I got the amount of comments being like, "How are you 72 kilos? I'm 5'11" and like 80 kilos. How are you set? It's just Like it's just people don't realize how much needs to come off, and two, like your skeletal frame, like the weight of your head, like all these different.
Everything makes a difference, 100%.
Yeah,
I've always said I have hollow bones because
yeah, yeah,
if you look at me on stage, muscularity isn't in the amateur ranks. It's not been a problem.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
but again, my scale weight. Well, I guess for my height, it's all right. But generally speaking, 72 kilo is not that big of a bodybuilder. But then,
yeah,
similar like you said with you, as soon as I saw you on Instagram for the first time, I was like, he's very good. And then I've seen you on this diet phase, and you're getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and the weights you're saying you are, I'm like, okay, we're similar weight. Like it's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
What how tall are you?
I'm 5'9". Yeah, yeah.
Right. So do you know what it is with me? So my thing is the look of my muscle, I'm quite bubbly and quite round, and
Mm.
muscle insertions. And then you have it's how you're put together. It's how your body's put together. It's
Yeah,
you can you can have the illusion of size, although you're not particularly big. I've competed against lightweights who look bigger than some middleweights I've competed against.
yeah,
Not
100%.
necessarily bigger than me, but bigger than other middleweights that I've competed against in my
Mm.
class. I'm like, you two should swap really because you don't look the type. And when I see you, especially on Instagram, because I've not had the pleasure of seeing you in stage condition on stage, but on
Yeah,
Instagram and pictures next to other guys that I've seen in person,
yeah, yeah,
you don't size is not an issue. Size is not an issue. And the guys that you're going to be stacking up against, again, I've seen a lot of these guys in person. I've seen you in pictures next to some of these guys, and I'm like, yeah, size isn't going to be a problem. And the fact that every time I see you, I'm like, he's getting bigger. Like your legs are nutty, and I always have massive appreciation for that because that's probably my best joint best body part. Joint best body
yeah,
part.
yeah,
My chest is
yeah,
probably up there, but my
yeah,
joint
yeah.
best body part's my legs. And I'm looking at yours, and I'm like, yeah, I love seeing it. I love seeing good legs in general because you're either genetically gifted and you're not training hard and they're just growing, which is rare. Or
Yeah.
again, you post your training videos regularly, and I watch most of them. You train hard and you train consistently, and you're doing the things that a lot of people don't want to do consistently. That's why your legs look that way. Look that way.
Yeah. I think when the thing that changed my legs was intensity. Yeah, and just not like actually just giving purpose to every set I did. Because I remember I used to train legs and I used to go to Pure Gym and just do like 3 sets sea leg curls. I used to do some leg extensions and maybe some leg press, and that was it. And just going through the motions. And I had like okay legs. My legs are quite short, but they weren't that good. To the point that my first ever coach I worked with looked at me and said, "Your legs aren't good enough. You need to do men's physique."
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely not like it just shows how okay, genetics can help, but you have to train hard for big legs. Like you can't have good like I don't know many people that have crazy legs and just they like it just comes just to them. They have to, really get after it and train hard for it.
I think
Um
I think when people like OPO is obviously my I don't want to say he's my biggest critic. He's not. I'm my biggest critic, and he doesn't criticize me often. But as far as getting critique from somebody about how I train or just brutal honesty, OPO is the one who's like, do more, do this, do
yeah.
that, do that. And it's not that I don't train hard. You
Mhm.
respectfully, you don't turn pro in the DFAC. You don't turn pro in any natural federation if you don't train hard. So
Yeah,
clearly train hard, but like, yeah, he'll be like, do this, do that. And legs are always like one of those ones because I'm naturally very strong on legs
Mhm.
relative to my height and weight, and I enjoy it. So I'll go in with 3 hours of sleep, tired, and I'll go, yeah, I'm hack squatting today and put however many plates I feel like on it and still squat it. And I think he's like, well, you could do more then. And I'm like, no, I just enjoy it. So mentally, I've approached it and made it look easy. But I
Yeah.
can't do flipping what a 250 kilo squat for 10 reps. I can't do that. Oh, I don't think so. I've never attempted it. I don't think I could do that. So like it just depends. But like the other day I did 200 kilo for like it was my first session back in like a month. doing legs, and I think I did like 200 kilo back squat for like 11 or something.
That's strong.
It
That's
was all
very
right. It was all right. I've done more, and I've got a goal in mind, a number goal in mind for that, and I'm going to try and attempt it next time. And
yeah.
yeah, and he was just like, "Oh, okay," and we just brushed it off because for me that's normal. At the peak of
Yeah.
prep, I was doing 220 for 8. So he's like, "I've I've seen it, and who cares?" But yeah, I say that not just to brag. I say that to say working hard, having intensity, having intention in your training, all those things. It doesn't have to be done in the typical Machiavelli motivation style,
Yeah,
grr,
yeah.
grunting and this
Yeah.
and that. When I see your training videos, it's very clean, it's very measured, you're very deliberate in your movement. Your tempo's good, you explode out, and then your tempo's good all the way through. I rarely see you do forced reps. I'm a fan of forced reps. I'm not saying you don't do them. I just don't notice it often in your training.
Yeah.
But
So
like,
something that
go on.
with force reps, that's actually something that I've changed in my training because I used to do that. I used to do it all the time, like
Yeah.
literally all the time. I used to just, I remember me and my mate Charlie would go on the pivot, Cybex pivot leg press. Have you used that before?
Mm, potentially not. I don't know it by name. The
Yeah. So
definition is not
it's
popping over my head.
yeah, it's the pivot one. It's really heavy in the short. Okay, very heavy in the short.
Yeah.
We would put a band, like a thick green band, on it to make it even heavier in the short, and just go all out to the point that it looked like my head was going to explode, like because it's how heavy it is at the top.
Yeah.
And that's just like how I used to love training. I think my old coach, um, I mean, one thing I'm really grateful for him is how he taught me to train hard,
Yeah.
but he would like just I'd fail on a leg press. He was a big guy, right, a really big guy. He would spot me for like 5 or 6 force reps afterwards. Just like absolute, like he would literally be taking most of it at the end, and I'd just be dying. So
Yeah.
all that stuff I used to do a lot. And something I've realized now is when you're at like a higher level of strength, not going for that force rep will actually make you get stronger in the next run because you're just managing fatigue so much better, and you'll literally progress quicker. So now I'm trying to not go for those 50-50 reps in an attempt because I'm hacking at quite a high frequency. So I get back in for 5 days. I'm like, okay, I want to be fresher and just get more out of the next set.
Yeah.
Try and get more out of the next set with a higher quality than just, going all out for that like last, 50-50 rep. I think has a merit, but only to people that can take that feedback and go, okay, I need to train a little bit less hard because I think
Yeah.
telling a lot of people to do that is teaching them the wrong things and they won't train hard enough. I
You
think
need
it's
to
so
be.
much better. Yeah.
Yeah. You need to be at a certain level. You need to be at a certain
Yeah.
level, and I think
Yeah.
I've rarely found like it's very rare that I find an anecdote about training in any context that I'm like, that is fact and there's no other way. Like
Yeah.
so much of what's implemented, you'll look at someone who's been training 20 years and they'll be doing partial reps at the end of a set. And you're like, oh, well, you could save it for later. They're 20 years in. Their muscles,
Yeah.
what they're trying to do is create stimulus in something that maybe is new to them. Maybe they didn't used to do partial reps. Maybe they've just introduced it.
Yeah.
Maybe they're trying to gain new stimulus. There's always something else. So, like I said, yes, I haven't seen you do it, but like you've just rightfully said, like I used to do it all the time. You now do something different. The way you train now, why it catches my eye is because it seems to be similar to the way I train. I like to balance strength, volume, and frequency on weak areas. Legs for me, because they are borderline overpowering, they are once a week. They've always been once a week. They always have been. And
Yeah.
I've never done them more often.
This is the thing
I do
with
throw in some bits, but like not a proper session.
yeah. So I was been thinking about this a lot, to be honest, with my last grind phase. It's like okay, so right now I'm doing push pull off legs off repeat.
Mm-hmm.
So everything's at even frequency. I could, maybe you look at my physique, it might make sense to do push pull legs off push pull just back and maybe a bit of hamstrings and glutes, no quads.
Mm-hmm.
However, when I look at do you know like Badder Fitness? When you look at people like him, he's like one of the best natural bodybuilders. He is all legs.
Yeah.
And I think if you can get crazy, crazy, crazy legs as a natural, even if it is overpowering your upper body, when you're natural and you're stepping on stage with quads that are like just so like stand out, I
Mhm.
think it just will make you do really, really well.
It's eye
Um,
catching. It's eye catching. It's not.
yeah,
It's not. It's not normal. It's not common. It's not common.
yeah. So I for a while I was like, okay, I'm gonna change my split, and now I'm here. I'm thinking, you know what? I'm gonna just commit to growing my quads as much as possible. I want them even bigger. I want just to keep getting more
Yeah. Yeah.
because I think it's just like don't. There's this whole topic around it's like strong areas. Do we now prioritize weak areas and just let the strong areas not grow anymore, or do you keep the strong areas going whilst trying to bring up the weak areas? I think that's better, and I think in bodybuilding, I think it's all about like freaky standout parts.
Mhm.
Maybe if it was classic physique, they'd prefer a bit more balance, but um, yeah, I think it is important to have like something that makes you stand out.
This
Yeah,
is the thing. So this is it feeds directly into my point about anecdotal evidence that I don't think is black and white. I
yeah,
100% agree with what you just said. But for me, for example, someone with my body parts, I have standout legs, if I do say so myself, and I will, and I have a standout chest. Yeah. I don't pull off of either really. I train both hard, but I'd be lying if I said I train them as hard as shoulders or arms or back because those
yeah,
areas need the most improvement.
yeah.
Now, I agree with standout body parts catching the eye and winning you shows in natural bodybuilding, and not just natural bodybuilding and bodybuilding. Look at Big Ramy.
Yeah,
Big
yeah,
Ramy is not balanced, and he won 2 Olympias. So
yeah,
I 100% agree with you. My thing is, if you, my whole thing, and again, this is from judges, not from me saying it, is balance. So that's not to say I don't have stand-up body parts. I clearly have stand-up legs when I stood on stage before.
yeah.
This time I'm hoping it will be more fluid, but
Mm.
still I've always been complimented on my balance. I don't have weak parts. Yes, things need to get bigger collectively so that I can
Yeah,
stand next to the best bodybuilders and stop using my hands. So I can stand next to the best bodybuilders, but yeah, as a physique, you've got what you need and it's in the right place. I think your physique is similar to that. I don't look at your physique and go, oh, he needs this, oh, he needs that. Everything growing collectively, as you are, balance wise, you'll be exactly as you need to be. So
yeah.
I don't know. It depends as well, without waffling on too much longer on this, because I don't want to make it too scientific and start talking about basically how to train. But like it depends on the rate of growth for different body parts. My legs grow. I look at a weight and they grow.
Yeah.
Whereas my arms, I batter them twice a week. And don't get me wrong, the next time I stand on stage, my arms are going to be very, very good. But the amount I batter them, if I battered my legs the same, I
Yeah.
look like a smaller version of Big Ramy. Like my
Yeah.
legs would be so overpowering, it'd be ridiculous. So again, it's I train relative to my rate of growth. When
Yeah.
when you're doing legs, obviously you're what would you say is a body part that you'd want to bring up in terms of your upper body?
100% my back. Yeah,
Okay.
my back's the weak point. Not I wouldn't say like it's weak, but it's just when you
Yeah.
compare it to other pros, it
Yeah.
then makes you realize you need more. So it's just like my lat spread and just more mid back. I
Yeah.
think last time I competed, it was glutes, erectors, and back. Now I would say my erectors and my glutes have actually come up loads.
Yeah.
And now actually my erectors have come up so much that it almost takes away from your mid back. Because if your erectors are out more and your mid back's like not out. So it's like, and I don't know what like I feel like I need more mid back. So it's all kind of
I
depth. But
had I had that same problem. I had the exact same problem. Pick what pick what you connect with. But this is just my advice. You have a coach. Do what you want to do. My advice would be because I've fixed that now, and I would say my back. Well, 20. I fixed it for 2021, and 2021 I got compliments from the judges on my back. And
yeah,
find something that you connect with your mid back well. Yes, you want to throw heavyweight at it and whatever. Find because it's such a precise point.
it is.
Try to find something that connects well and build that movement. Try
Yeah,
and
100.
or build one or two movements that connect well with that, with slightly different angling, obviously. So you can maybe do both on the same training session and just batter that. Try and progress that weight-wise. Try and stick to it. I don't know how you program or how often you change movements out. There are staple movements that I keep year round, and then there are
Yeah,
some
so,
movements I might take out every 8 weeks because I get bored and I want to try something else.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I think the good thing with my back is that weakness is actually it was correlated so clearly with what my training was, because my last push I needed more lats as well. I needed more teres. So both of my pull sessions were very, very lat dominant. I would do like lat work before the upper back work,
Yeah.
and volume would be typically a bit higher on lats and the mid back. So now I've actually just changed things massively. Both pull sessions I start on after the hinges. I start on mid back work, like upper back rows, like T-bar rows,
Yeah.
low to high chest supported rows.
Yeah.
So yeah, now I think that will help significantly,
Yeah.
like a lot. But yeah, for my mid back, what I noticed now is low to high rows feel so much better than like horizontal upper back rows,
Mm-hmm.
because I have quite good rear delts. So
Mm-hmm.
to do like a horizontal row, which is out here, it's not really as important as getting strong. It's just like doing like something which is, getting way more mid back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I need to get strong at. I need to get strong at just T-bar rows ultimately, and just really just getting strong at getting into that retracted position and
Yeah.
just, doing that. But it's I'm enjoying the whole, like I really enjoy training my mid back now and getting that connection that I feel like it's going to change a lot this this push. So it's funny because I see, especially assisted guys, I see a lot of people say like, oh, I don't really think much with my back training. I just they just lift heavy, they row, and it's simple. But
Mm-hmm.
I feel like when you're natural, it's so it's so different. Like I
It
think
is.
every little detail of back training matters so much. And I think if you're assisted and you want to have a back that's good, okay, it doesn't matter. But if you want to have like an outrageous back, then I think, how you do it then again as well matters. But
Yeah, massively. If you're genetically inclined to having a great back, then there are always those anomalies, those outliers
just do
that
it, yeah.
like whatever they touch, it grows. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, you and I are gonna have our individual body parts that are like that. Everyone with good genetics will have a body part that grows. Even if it's
Yeah.
an insignificant body part like forearms or calves,
Yeah.
they just you look at them and they just blow up. Yeah, everyone has it. So, well, everyone with genetics for bodybuilding has something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I think you hit the nail on the head. Like, you've analyzed, right, these movements contribute to what I'm trying to achieve without also contributing to a strength already. Yes, you could
Mm.
keep doing a high wide row, and
Yeah.
but if you're still taking a lot of rear delt, then your strength is going to become even stronger. Yes, your mid back's going to grow, but that
Mm.
disparity is going to stay the same because your strength is still growing. Whereas
Yeah.
you can take that away as much as you can, use that just as stability, and target what you need to target as the primary, then you're always going to win. But again, we're jumping into like coachy stuff. I don't like doing that on
Yeah.
here. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, you are planning for your next push. Just quickly, how long are you going to run this push phase? Is it a do you map out what you should be based on your diet, based on whatever you're training? Do you map out what you should be putting on each week, or is it we're gonna put these calories in, gradually
Mhm.
build those, center it around performance, whatever it may be, and then when we get to that number that we said we'll get to, which I think you said 93 next time,
Yeah.
93, then we'll just go again. Is there a firm timeline where if 1 week you only put on 0.3, you're like, that's not enough. It needs to be 0.5. Now we need to make up for it all a week behind. Is it that? How strict are you with it, and what's your plan?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's like super strict in terms of like needs to be this week month is this month is this. What I'll say is typically what I found is my last push is just, and what I do with my clients is like if they say I climb too quick for a month, the next month will just be really slow and I'll just might not add in food for a while and just, level off a bit. And I'll just keep doing that if I need to. I always think when people talk about rates of gains and things like that, I think people need to look at the average rate of gain across a big trajectory as opposed to oh, this month was too quick. Oh no, I've messed up. Well, it's fine. You've got loads more months, so you're just going to slow it down later on.
Yeah.
So that's the plan. And then, yeah, I mean, if it say worst case scenario by June, July, I was like hitting 94, then we'll probably diet a bit sooner.
Mm.
And just maybe the start of the diet will do it a little bit slower. And then, but it's just, yeah, I think ultimately, we'll find a way to make sure when I start prep, I'm, 84, 85 kilos around that. But
Yeah.
yeah, pre-prep diet will be in September. It will just be super slow. Like this is going to be a very, very slow growing phase. So it's
I was
just
gonna say, as soon as you mentioned September, I was like, oh, that's longer than I would have thought. Yeah.
slow.
I go up quick and I go down quick. Like whatever
Yeah,
phase I decide to be in, my body just goes, yep, let's go. So
yeah. I think it all depends on the person. I think if you've got good genetics and um your ability to grow quicker is, higher, then obviously body weight might come on a bit quicker and it's fine. Equally, like training experience, if you're newer to training, I think you can go up a bit quicker as well.
yeah.
Yeah, I think to be fair, there's a lot that has shown that typically moving a bit quicker actually might not get you more gains. I think like the key thing to growth is time.
Yes.
So that's what the goal is now. It's like just making sure I'm just in that big enough of a surplus basically to progress.
Yeah.
I'm just going to accept that it's hard because you get in the gym, you're like half a rep up, half a rep up, half a rep up. But when you're in a surplus for like 10 months, that's a lot of
It
like
adds up.
if you see your deadlift and you went half a rep up every week,
Mm-hmm.
but that's a lot of weight you'll be shifting.
Yeah.
People,
It adds up.
I tell people this because they're like, oh, it's been an average week, half a rep up on stuff, but not that much. I'm like, this is good. Like,
Yeah,
change your.
you do that 10 more times and you're up 5 reps. You're
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
oh
Yeah,
crap.
yeah,
Yeah, before you
yeah.
know. Yeah, people lose sight, but then that's why they need coaches. That's why they need coaches. That's why some people need, well, most people performing at a high level, um, forget like the general gym goer who has a coach. Most competitive or people who aspire to be competitive, um, they need that direction. It doesn't matter how much knowledge you have of yourself. I think that direction is needed. And I always say, yes, I do my own off season. Opio still checks in on me. We are friends anyway. We're mates and we train together frequently. So he'll see me pose and
Yeah,
this and that and this and that. So he's always got an eye on me because you need it. As much as I know I'm in control, and every time I show him what I look like, he's pleasantly surprised. It's like I still need him to tell me, yes, I'm happy with where you are. Because when prep comes, he's the one that needs to tell me where he wants me. Because he's going to take
yeah,
the reins. Because I'm not thinking in prep, I do not think. I do, and I do, and I do, and I do, and I keep doing until we're there, and then we're there. And
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I think well, most people need that. That helps me segue anyway. We're getting to that point anyway. That helps me segue onto coaching. So you I would say you had a very successful year as a coach. This year, Richard, like you mentioned, was
Thank
the
you.
standout athlete that I noticed on your panel. He was phenomenal athlete. You got
Yeah,
him into phenomenal shape. Um, yeah, it was exciting to watch when I saw the post of him basically collecting his winners medals and trophies and all the rest of it. I was like, of course, there's no
yeah,
surprise there. As much as the athlete is to be praised and he's the one that everyone looks at and goes, oh, he's phenomenal, he's scary, when he comes back. The coach, again, I have massive respect for what Opio does for me. I wouldn't be who I am. People wouldn't know me for what they know me for if Opio wasn't pulling the strings behind the scenes. So
mm,
going into a year where you're so focused on, I need to be an elite professional, I need to get ready to stand on stage with these guys, I need to do this, I need to do that, and then actually starting prep in 2025, what does coaching look like for you next year? What does coaching look like for you 2025?
yeah. So it's very exciting. Like the team is growing a lot right now, and I'm finally getting an opportunity to do what I love, which is prepping people and just like I love bodybuilding. So if I can see people's journeys to the stage, I absolutely love it. Especially just with Richard, that that journey with him. I saw him come from literally being, I knew from day one he was absolutely outstanding. He didn't. He had no clue. Like literally the most humble bodybuilder I've ever met.
Mm.
And to see him go from saying to me like, "Do you think we're good? Do you think we'll get top five at a qualifier?" to him being really nervous and worried about things, to then coming off the stage being like, "Mate, this is crazy. Like, thank you so much. I can't believe this. Like, I can't believe it. Like, I can't believe what you've done." Like that honestly was just the most amazing journey. And to take more people through that, it's very exciting. So whilst obviously I've got my competitive goals in 2025, I'm not gonna like put that on hold for my goals. You know, I'm going to try and work around it and make sure that I can still take these guys to the stage that want to compete. You know, obviously there's a limit to how many people you can take to a stage when you're competing yourself. I'm not going to overdo it. I want to make sure, you know, those clients are getting the service they need. But yeah, it's very exciting. So we've got 10 people competing next year. And then I imagine there'll be a little bit more in 2025. Yeah, some athletes next year that are going to be seriously good. I mean, Jordan is one that's crazy. Yeah, like pretty much similar level to Richard, to be honest, as a
Yeah.
bodybuilder. Um, yeah, it's very exciting to see him compete. I mean, he's trained for 11 years and never competed,
Okay.
and he's just been in a surplus like the majority of the time, just lifting heavy in the gym. One of those guys, you know those people in novice that appear. Yeah,
Novice is one of those scary categories because you never know. You never
you
know.
know, yeah, you know, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I've got a guy called Divine, just an absolute genetic freak. Trained for 2.5 years. He's learned a lot with me so far. We've been working together for like 6 months.
Mhm.
And he has to see how he's come on with his training and everything is awesome because I mean, when we sat down on that first call, I said to him, "Look, okay, you've got like the craziest genetics here." And I made it clear to him that you've got so much potential here, but please don't let your genetics limit you. Don't let your progress think that you don't need to be doing certain things. Because he said to me, like, "Oh, I don't know about bulks. I don't believe in bulks. Like, do you think I need it?" I was like, "Look, you think you've made progress now. You wait and see what you can do when you do these things."
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, he's doing classic and novice bodybuilding, most likely. But yeah, he's someone that I honestly think after this season he's kind of getting in the mix.
Hmm.
And then after that, like he's going to take a year off. And then when he comes back, then I think he's probably going to be like one of the best natural bodybuilders like, up there. Like, it's just the response rates that I've seen from him are
Yeah.
pretty crazy.
Sorry.
Like, back in focus.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a couple of guys, but yeah, really excited for it because yeah, every single one of my clients competing next year, they're all really into it. And you know, the most important thing for me is like whilst I talk about Divine and Jordan who have crazy potential, that the thing that matters the most to me is just that they care a lot and you know they're very kind of the mental side of things are there for prep. You know,
Yeah.
they've built up that experience in nutrition.
Hmm.
They kind of know what they're in for. They have good expectations from competing. All those things matter so much and so much more than just like what medals they're getting, you know, because prep's a very fragile thing and it can mess people up if it's done for the wrong reasons
Hmm.
and the wrong person goes through a prep basically.
Yeah.
So yeah,
No, it's good. I'm happy for you. Anyone, just on a personal level, my perspective of life in general, not necessarily to do with sport, bodybuilding, anything. I like seeing people do things for themselves. I like seeing people who are self-employed and doing well. I like seeing people forging their own fortune. I think there's so many
yeah.
people just kind of following what is laid out for them. The people like you who take the risk with a young child and family
Appreciate
support and all
that.
that kind of stuff. Like you've got stuff that needs to be done, and you're doing your own thing to, you know what I mean. You're growing your business, and it's happening, and it's working. And then alongside that, you've got your own passion for yourself as an athlete that you're also chasing. You're doing well. You're doing well.
Mm.
So, um, no, it's good stuff, and I'm excited to see 2025. I'm excited to see your growth. I'm excited to see some of your, well, a couple, at least two of those, two of your clients, the two guys you just mentioned, Divine and Jordan. I'm
Yeah.
excited to
Have you
see.
seen them? Have you seen them on my Instagram?
It may be and not noticed. I'll be honest. I haven't retained either of them, so I'll check after this. And
Yeah.
have you posted them recently?
Yeah, maybe I posted Jordan a while ago, but yeah, I mean I can show you after this.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Uh, When
Yeah,
are you competing next?
next year is the
Oh,
plan.
awesome.
Is the
Yeah,
plan.
yeah.
Is the
That's
plan.
exciting.
Yeah, it would have been this year, but little one came, so I was like, nah,
I think that's the right. Like I said, I think that's the right time.
yeah,
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 that's
yeah. Next
100% the
year,
right time.
next year is the time. I think. Opia wants me 85 to start prep, 85 kilo to start prep,
That's
because
sweet.
things have been a little bit derailed at the moment with illness and schedule and stuff. I think he had a look at me at 90.9, I think it was the other day. And again, he was like, for 90, you look all right for 90. So we'll
Yeah,
see. I would love to sit on stage as well, just for the record. I would love to be on stage, same condition or better. He says it will be better condition than 2021 at 76. If I can stand on stage 2 kilo heavier, that will
yeah,
be massive for me, huge for me, because that's not for natural athletes to put 2 kilos of lean muscle mass in 2 years is not bad.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not
yeah,
bad. So it's not bad. So if I can stand on stage at 76, I'll be happy. I say that, and there's probably DFAC pros watching this going, ha, he's not going to be anywhere near heavy enough. Because, like I said, most of the guys I know are minimum 80, but it's never mattered before. It's never
yeah,
mattered before. I don't watch the scale. I'll be honest with you. The reason I don't really know what I truly weighed is because peak week, I don't weigh myself. I don't
yeah.
care. I weigh myself when Opio tells me to. Other than that, I don't look at a scale. I don't.
Yeah, yeah,
Never cared. If I look good in the mirror, and I know I look good in the mirror, I'm like, I don't care what any. I don't care. What difference does it
yeah.
make? Makes no difference
100%.
to me. No one asks
Yeah,
you if you weigh on stage. Who cares? But yeah. So 2025 is the plan, assuming everything goes well. My missus has already planned a family holiday and stuff. I was kind of umming and ahhing, and I basically just decided, I said, listen, rather than me drag the idea of me coming on, I'm just gonna tell you right now, I'm probably gonna prep. If things line
yeah,
up now, I'm probably gonna prep. And that kind of pushed my decision just so that she could plan her year. Because we haven't been on
yeah,
holiday. No, that's not true. We did go on holiday, but she was we were in Egypt, but she was heavily pregnant. So she hasn't
yeah.
been on holiday since. And usually we go away like 2, 3 times a year. So obviously apart from when I prep, I don't go anywhere. But
Could you like get like an Airbnb? That's what I've done before. Just go on holiday, stay in an Airbnb, and then just like cook all your
so,
meals.
so I did consider doing it because they're only going to. It'll be a family one, so it'll be me. It'll be Anaya's first holiday, obviously. So sorry, my daughter's first holiday. So it'll be me, uh, Deanna, Anaya, my mother-in-law, my sister-in-law, and my niece and nephew-in-laws. So we're going Spain because you've got small kids. You don't want to be on the flight for that long. And
Yeah, yeah,
it's their first holiday. It's my niece and nephew-in-law's
yeah,
first holiday out of the country as well. And they're older. They're 5 and 2. By then they'll be 5 and 3. So we don't really want to. Yeah, we
yeah,
don't want a long haul flight, but
yeah, yeah.
I thought about it. I did because they're getting a villa, so there will be amenities and stuff. And I don't know,
Good.
Adam. I think
I get, yeah, yeah.
when I prep, I'm a different person. When I prep, I turn into the very stereotypical can't do anything, don't do anything, just bodybuild. And I enjoy that. That isn't because I think you have to. It when I see other people doing what they do and live a life still, do your thing. I don't look down on it at all. I think it's personal preference. I think if anything, it's better for you if you enjoy doing it because prep doesn't get stale for you. For
Yeah,
me, I
yeah,
like the just monotony of this is bodybuilding every day. I'm a machine. I'm a robot. I don't care about that's my whole thing when I'm in prep.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Mindset completely changes in the off season. Very laid back. I train consistently. I train hard. I eat consistently. This fucking camera. I eat consistently. I train consistently. Like I do my thing, but I'm relaxed. If Deanna wants to go out and get something to eat, yeah, let's go get something to eat. I'm not going to tell you I'm a bodybuilder. I can't. I'm going to go out there
Yeah,
and I'm going to eat in excess. That's just how I am. Yeah, I'm going to enjoy myself. Prep, completely different. Deanna hates
yeah,
it. Deanna hates it because I'm like, I go from one extreme to the complete other extreme. But
I think
again,
it's fair enough to be taking years off, and like it's not if you're competing every year, then obviously
yes,
but you're
100%.
taking yeah, yeah.
And there wouldn't be a need. I don't think there would be a need because my if I was competing every year, I don't get silly anyway with my diets. I don't get fat and all that like immediately. My first year I did, but generally I don't. And yeah, so I would think my preps will probably be around 20 weeks anyway, 16 to 20 weeks if I was competing every year. If I was
Yeah,
every year, because I'm taking longer stints off. Like the plan this time is to prep for about 20 weeks proper prep.
yeah.
So if I pre-prep phase down to 85
Mhm.
and start prep at 85, yeah, if yeah, 10 kilos in 22-ish weeks, 23-ish weeks.
That's easy. Yeah, yeah, that's spot on. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, yeah, I don't think it's going to be a long prep anyway, particularly.
yeah. And
Um,
that'll be yeah. When you only have to lose that in that time frame, the fatigue's way less.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah,
much easier.
yeah. My first prep was 26 and my second one was 36. So
Yeah.
20 anything even close to 20 again would be fantastic. That would be fantastic. But we'll see. Listen, I'll do whatever is necessary to win. And yeah, I'll do whatever's necessary. And if it means a 40-week prep, so be it. If it means a 16-week prep, so be it. Is what
Mhm.
it is. But I'm
Yeah.
excited for next year. I don't want to talk too much about me now. We're running long now, but yeah, I'm excited for next year. I'm excited for next year. So
Doing the BNBF Pro
yes,
show.
DFAC, yeah, DFAC Grand Prix, British Grand Prix. I've never competed overseas. The World Championships, DFAC champs are Germany this year, rather
Oh, cool.
than so usually they're
Good.
even in the US or Cayman Islands.
Yeah, yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah, I want it. I like the fact it's closer. I don't fly well, so
Yeah,
I retain a lot of water when I fly.
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't. The idea of prepping, going into a show thinking I'm going to win, and turning up and landing and I'm full of water,
yeah. It's not
it's
stress.
always made me nervous.
Yeah, also the time difference. Oh man, when I went to Vegas, I was awake for so long that I
Yeah,
was spacing my meals out by like 6 hours, and I was so hungry, and it was just the worst experience. I was sat there like, oh, I've got to wait for so long until my next meal because of
yeah.
the time difference. Oh, I was yeah.
And because you're that deep in prep, I don't know about you, but I get to about 10 weeks out, and you don't sleep at night anymore.
No, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah.
it's not like you're oh well, you can just sleep on the plane. No,
You
if you're
can't. You're hungry.
off season, I sleep wherever. But on prep, 10 weeks out, you're not sleeping anywhere. Any 10 weeks
Yeah,
out or earlier, or sorry, or later, you're not sleeping. You're not sleeping anywhere. No way,
yeah.
no way. So yeah, I think Germany's good because you can drive there. You can drive there if you want to, or you just get a short flight. Either way works. So I'll consider it. I'll consider doing two shows. I think it depends how the Grand Prix goes. Obviously,
Mhm.
I compete to win. That being said, there's guys who've been doing it 3 times as long as me. They were better than me when I started. I'm still
Yeah,
trying to catch up to them, and you know what I mean. So I don't leave much space to be realistic because what's the point? I train to be number one. I don't train to be modest and tell
yeah, yeah,
people they're better than me. I don't do that. But I have to respect the work that's been done by the people who have been
yeah,
doing
100%.
it. They're bigger,
Yeah,
better,
yeah,
smarter. You know what I mean? They've been doing it. So
yeah.
to expect to go into a Grand Prix of that quality and win is
Against like David Kay or
this is
is
what I
he
mean.
doing it?
This is what I mean. Dave Kane, Nate Williams,
Are they
Shane.
do are they doing it? You don't know.
So Dave is officially retired.
Okay, but you never
Dave's
know.
officially retired. You never know because Dave
Yeah,
walks around in shape. He's,
yeah,
I know he never really posts on Instagram that much anyway, but I know he trains hard. Like
yeah,
he's not just going to stop. So if he's ready and he still feels,
yeah,
oh, this is a busy lineup, it's going to be fun, and I'm still
yeah,
everybody else, I'm going to compete. Then yeah,
yeah,
in my mind, when I train and I visualize who I need to stand on stage against, Dave is always in there. It doesn't matter
yeah.
whether he's retired
I
or
think
not.
I think he's probably one of the best natural bodybuilders on the planet.
I
Uh,
yeah, I would.
I've always been wanting to see. I wish one day we need to just get all the best natural bodybuilders and put them on the same stage, man. Because I'd love to see him against like the guy who won. Did you see Brian DaCosta, the guy that won WBF Worlds?
No.
It's crazy. To be
Yeah.
fair, yeah, he was. Yeah, like just obviously, yeah, he beat Bad of Fitness.
I was gonna.
Um,
I did see him. I don't remember him now, but I remember Badder didn't got beat, and that's the first time I've seen Badder get beat in years. Every
he
time
was
I see
100.
Badder, he's winning.
He was 195 pounds on stage at my height.
Is
So
it?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be good. It'll be good. I think.
get
Yeah.
like one show that just everyone can do it.
Yeah.
Prizes.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited to see it. I think. Yeah, I'm excited to see it. I think with the DFAC, it's going to be a busy year. There's a couple names that I hadn't seen be prominent before that are now
Well,
prominent.
apparently you can. I saw a couple guys change over. So like WNBF pros came to the DFAC Pro World Show and did it. So you
Okay,
never, maybe in 2025, I might be like, oh, you know what, the DFAC Europeans, I might do it, and I might be allowed to take turn pro in the DFAC because I'm already got a pro card.
good,
They're allowing that now.
good. I
In
think they
certain
should.
shows, yeah. So you can just come over and yeah.
I definitely consider it. I have no problem. I have no problem with competing in different federations. My whole thing about competing in the DFAC was I think the best guys are at the DFAC. So, well, we're with the BNBF. I think I
Mm.
was always told by everybody who competed that BNBF was the hardest place.
Yeah,
So I was like,
yeah.
that's where I want to be.
I think
I want to get
some
in
of
there.
the I would say like some of the guys in the BNBF are 100% like I said the best on the planet, like Nathan, David Kay. But then also this year I saw the Robert, wasn't it Robert?
Yes, yes, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm
He
talking about.
was seriously good, really good.
He
But
he's
he at
so
WWF
seriously good.
World, he at WWF Worlds came. I don't know where he came, but
Hmm.
he didn't. Maybe he came like third in the heavyweight class or like fourth
Okay.
or something like that. So yeah, it was interesting to see that.
Yes, who beat him? I know exactly what show you're talking about as well. I can't remember who beat him, but I remember seeing it. He he blamed that on the travel
I don't
time
know if something may have been
and
off though.
stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he said he was off. He definitely looked off because he did a before and after post of what he looked
Okay.
like. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
he looked off. He looked off.
Yeah. I mean, I was surprised to see that he didn't do because he won Mr. America
I
and
know, I know, I know. But this is what I mean about traveling. I don't like the idea of traveling to compete
yeah.
far because I'm like, I don't know what physique's gonna turn up by the time I get there.
Yeah.
You never know. You never know. But
Yeah.
anyway, we can always chat on another episode. It's fine. Like I said, we'll make time.
Sounds good, bro.
We've got plenty to talk about. Plenty to talk
Yeah,
about.
making me realize I needed to start doing my own podcast because I just keep talking about
100%.
this. Yeah,
100%. And you got a massive following as well. I see you got
yeah, I
like
need.
you got a lot,
Yeah,
yeah, you got a lot, and your YouTube is popping. So
yeah, it is coming. I'm gonna do it. Like I'm basically very close to doing it. It's just like what it's like when I do it, like what production do I do, and just a few
yes,
things I need to figure out. Yeah,
yeah.
like how, yeah,
This works best for me because
yeah,
my life is very busy. If you can get a studio and sit and do
yeah,
it with people or whatever the case may be, there's always other ways to do it. There's always topics to talk about. My thing has always been outreach to other athletes, like-minded people, being able to chat. Like, I'm not going to name names of what conversations I've had off camera because they're off camera deliberately. I've spoken to people who have said to me, "This is the first time, Gene, I've been able to talk about these things because no one ever asked me." And I'm like, this is the point. Because I know how I feel. I've got so much to talk about that people don't know because they don't ask.
yeah,
Because where
yeah,
would you? Why would you? You know what I mean? Where would you talk about it?
yeah,
That's what I want to do. I want to get to know you. I want to get to know top athletes in other federations doing other things. I've always
Mm.
said like I don't like the idea. I know I've done a UK DFBA show, but since I did BNBF after that, I've never been back. I don't like people thinking that I have a problem with anybody else or anything else. Like I'm just
yeah.
a guy who competes and that's it. I don't have affiliation with whatever. So
Yeah.
yeah, it is what it is. But anyway, thank you. Well, I can't say thank you and bye blurry. Thank you, Adam, for your time.
Thank you for having me.
I said
Good.
I'd make it a quick one today, and it was never going to happen because I like to ramble on too much. I'd love to have you on again. If by the next time I ask you to be on, you've got your own podcast, then feel free to invite me. I'll come over.
Yeah,
Uh,
round, yeah.
we need to get a session in. I'm gonna travel up to La Coach in the early new year. In the early new year, because what
Yeah,
I'll probably do, yeah, if we can link up a Saturday where you're
yeah,
pushing. Actually, no, I don't really mind. It's just that my push falls on a Saturday. I can do push or back, and that shouldn't mess up my following week.
yeah.
Because
I can let you know.
I do legs Monday, Tuesday. So if I go in and do a heavy deadlift with you on a Saturday, I won't be able to squat properly on Tuesday,
Yeah,
but I can take a compound out for Tuesday and it doesn't really
yeah,
so we can make it work. But
yeah. We can maybe I have to film it for my YouTube as well. Something. I'll make a
yeah,
good video.
100%. Listen, I'm open to do whatever. At the end of the day, like I don't have a massive following. I don't think that many people know me. The more I compete, they will, but I don't think that many people know me. My whole thing is I want to meet people. If exposure comes from that, fine. I like meeting people that are like-minded. I like the sport. I like the people generally who are in the sport.
Yeah,
Training. It's like meet up with people, have a training session. It's a story you have later down the line. It is what it is. But yeah, I'm happy for you to record whatever. Who's your training partner? You said his name earlier.
Oh, train with Charlie sometimes, but like we're on the same split, but then it's like for a while we trained together, and then we realized, we've got different physiques, we need to do different things. So at
Right, 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 right,
the
right,
same
right.
time, and then he'll be doing like high incline dumbbell press, I'll be doing high incline Smith. It's like
Okay, 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 okay. See,
and then we'll just
I'm
each
the
other.
same as you. I like Smith. I don't really free weight bench. I like Smith. I love Smith. I like all that stuff. But even
Yeah,
dumbbells, I don't do dumbbells that often. But again, there's certain things I can get away with because my chest is a strength. But yeah,
yeah, yeah,
we'll definitely link up. If you let me know, yeah, it won't be this year just because it's too short notice now. But like early January, if you let
yeah.
me know what you're
That
saying,
works well because I'll be in a better position to train hard as well.
yeah,
Bit more fit.
sorry, yeah, that benefits you as well. I'll be on my way down, but it won't matter. I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't care that much. I'll do what I can, and is what it is. It'll still it'll be respectable numbers at least. So
yeah.
it won't look weak on your video, but it'll be respectable.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you for coming. Is there anything you want to promote, talk about, shine a light on before we go?
No, I think all good. I guess I'll just say like my Instagram is adam.powe_. If anyone
Banging.
wants to inquire about coaching, just go on the link in my bio. And yeah, I guess that's pretty much everything. But yeah, thank you for having me.
No
It's
problem,
been
man. Thank you for
yeah,
making time again to come on here and waffle on with me. I
definitely
appreciate
good.
it. Yeah, I appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. More episodes coming soon. I'm not going to commit to once a week anymore because I've got a child now and things are busy. So I will do it as frequently as possible and I will try my best to get them out there. If there's anyone you want to see on here, guys, feel free to DM me on Instagram, message me on this, comment below. I've had messages already on Instagram of who you want on. I ask, some people reply, some people don't. That's all I can say. I can't make people come here. So it is what it is. I'll do what I can. Thank you and speak to you next time. Cheers.